Welcome to the Colony Theater in historic downtown Marietta, Ohio. Previously named the Hippodrome, its original location was at the corner of 2nd and Union Streets, in a lot that is currently occupied by the West Banco building. This original vaudeville house was built on May 18, 1911, and had a seating capacity of 657. The theater was a destination for traveling live acts, plays, magic lantern projections, and later silent moving pictures that were accompanied by live music. When the German National Bank purchased the Hippodrome property in 1918 to expand the bank, the C&M Amusement Company immediately purchased lots on both Putnam and 3rd Streets to build a new theater.
Baker & Baker Jewelers, always a choice selection of fine china and silverware. Fine diamonds since 1918. Weiser & Cawley, for the finest in furnishings and floor coverings. Serving Marietta over 70 years, 817 3rd Street. Vogue Swift in the Frontier Shopping Center, Marietta's complete garment care center. That's Vogue Swift.
While construction was underway, performances continued at the Old Hip, and on May 9, 1919, the new Hippodrome Theater opened to the public with a premiere showing of Daddy Longlegs, starring Mary Pickford.
The Hippodrome, as it was originally built, has 3 balconies. The sight lines from all of them are terrific, and you have a good view of the stage from any seat in the house. When it was renovated into a movie theater only, that seating was reconfigured to seat about 1,000 people. 1,000 seats are important because that's what's going to give us the ability to have traveling groups come in and be financially successful, and for the theater to be attractive to a wide variety of entertainers. The original seats are still in storage in the building, and we're looking at the restoration and renovation of all the seating and how to make it most comfortable, most attractive, but also consistent with what the facility was like when it was originally built.
The new Hippodrome boasted one of the Midwest's largest vaudeville stages that could accommodate the largest Broadway plays of the time.
One of the more interesting parts of the stage floor in the Colony Theater is the original traps, or removable covers, that make up sections of the floor. From approximately here down to the stage edge, each one of these 8-foot long, 3-foot wide panels can be lifted out to allow for materials to be stored in the basement, or for actors to come up through the floor, or for costumes and scenery pieces to go downstairs into storage. This is the bottom side of those removable panels we looked at, the trap covers in the stage floor. Each one of these timbers can be removed, and then the flooring above removed, creating an open space that would go up to stage level to allow things to come down or for people to go up.
Among its many features was its giant boiler that provided steam heat in the winter, and its unique cold water cooling system, the 1918 equivalent of central air conditioning. One of the more distinctive features of the Hippodrome was its decorative fire screen. This large canvas mural was painted by the Twin Cities Scenic Company in 1919. In addition to being a beautiful piece of artwork, the curtain also served to contain heat and air conditioning in the auditorium, while props, scenery, and theatrical trunks were loaded onto the stage, and also provided protection from fire. Other features included 7 dressing rooms, a large chorus girls' room, plush carpeting, a seating capacity of 1,200, perfect sight lines, exceptional acoustics, a giant silver screen, an orchestra pit, and a 50-foot fly loft for rigging drops, scenery, and lighting.
The real estate above the stage is the most valuable part of the whole property. There's a space that's over 50 feet tall that goes up to the rafters, from which we can hang scenery, the movie screen, lighting instruments, or actors if they're flying around in Peter Pan. The position halfway down is a bridge that allows us to operate the rigging system and still have a complete wide floor unobstructed to put scenery on or to make things move on and off. This system is original from when the building was built in 1919, and significant renovation for safety is probably in the future for the rigging system, but as it is now, it's a real marvel.
The projection booth housed 2 moving picture projectors and spotlights, and the pipes of the Echo Theater pipe organ were located in chambers on either side of the stage.
This is the original lighting control station and electrical station for the entire building. Each one of these switches controlled a stage light or set of stage lights that helped set the scene for the productions. This is originally called a piano board, and when it was in operation, there would have been as many as 8 or 9 operators up here, each flipping switches and flipping knobs in unison to make dramatic light shifts happen out for the audience. This, of course, has all been replaced by modern technology with computers and relays and dimming panels that the audience would never see. But the era of the piano boards is something that still affects how stage lighting is done today.
Opening 8 years before Talking Pictures, the new Hippodrome offered vaudeville acts, Broadway plays, magical acts, and silent films accompanied by the Hippodrome's own 5-piece orchestra.
As you can see, the original movie screen is still here in the theater. The theater was designed for movies in mind, and in 1929 it was upgraded to provide the technology to show talking pictures as well. The original movie projectors are in the back of the theater, and one of the things that we're giving serious thought to is the type of movies and the technology needed to show movies again in the theater once it's renovated.
And in 1929, C&M Amusement Company installed Vitaphone talking and synchronized moving pictures using high-class RCA photophone equipment, the first of its kind in the Marietta area. And for the next 30 years, the Hippodrome reigned as Marietta's #1 amusement palace. In 1949, the new owners of the Hippodrome, Shea Theaters of New York, began remodeling the theater at an estimated cost of $50,000. The distinctive stone archway was replaced with a 2-story Southern colonial facade. The box office was moved to the side of the entranceway, and new carpeting, stage drapes, and other decorative improvements transformed the theater. A highly publicized contest was held to rename the theater, and on June 25, 1949, the Colony Cinema opened to the public by showing the Esther Williams musical, Neptune's Daughter.
This is the old movie projection booth. This is the space where they assembled the movies for showing, and the projection equipment that projected the movie out to the projection screen that's still in storage here as well. Eventually this will be the home for the follow spots and the lighting operations. We saw the lighting board backstage earlier. The new one will be the size of a modern computer and will fit on a desktop, and will be operated from this booth.
In its prime, the Colony's stage was graced by some of America's most famous entertainers, politicians, and other celebrities. Some of its guests included Boris Karloff, Frank Sinatra, Jimmy Stewart, Judy Garland, Dick Van Patten, Tex Ritter, Minnie Pearl, Kitty Wells, Ernest Tubb, Randy Travis, and many more.
Here on the second floor and the third floor, the dressing rooms that were original in the building. There are 7 dressing rooms here, from small private dressing rooms for the stars to larger dressing rooms where groups of chorus members could get dressed. There are bathrooms, sinks, everything that you would imagine. Of course, it hasn't been updated in quite a while, and I think there's quite a bit of work here to bring it up to what performers today would expect. But you can imagine what it was like when the building opened, how nice this was for the companies to come into and stay.
On February 12, 1957, the Colony Cinema added to its history of firsts and milestones by hosting the world premiere of Battle Hymn, in which Rock Hudson portrayed Marietta native Colonel Dean Hess.
Marietta, Ohio stages the greatest civic celebration in its history to welcome Colonel Dean Hess and to celebrate the world premiere of his dramatic film biography, UI's Battle Hymn. Guests of honor include Dan Duryea and Rock Hudson, who portrays Colonel Hess, the parson who became an ace airman and who saved thousands of Korean orphans from capture by the Reds. Marietta College, celebrating Founders Day, confers an honorary degree on Rock Hudson, and the entire city joins in acclaiming everyone connected with the premiere. 2 days of all-out festivities with never a letdown. The Air Force joins in just as it cooperated in filming Battle Hymn. The biggest crowd ever gathers outside the Colony Theater to cheer the premiere of one of the truly great human documents ever to emerge from any war.
From 1975 to 1989, the Colony changed hands several times, passing from Shea Theaters to Cinemet of Pittsburgh, whose 1975 remodel included the removal of a lobby staircase and replacement of the concession stand. Shortly thereafter, ownership passed to Ohio Movies. In March of 1980, a failed boiler threatened to close the Colony down, but a determined Marjorie B., who had worked at the theater since 1968, made an offer and bought the Colony on February 15, 1981, making her the theater's first local owner. Forming MBM Corporation of Marietta, Ms. B. and her sons ran the theater until low attendance and high heating bills forced the closure of the Colony in December of 1985.
So far we've kept it going this far, but now I think the videos has really hurt us.
Local businessman Dan Steffen Sr. purchased the theater in 1989 in the hopes that someday this treasured and unique local landmark might be preserved and restored.
And we did several studies about how we could make it a viable building that could support itself. We came up to the conclusion that the only way it could be economically feasible would be to operate as a nonprofit organization, which we think when it's done, it will be a big asset along with the other tourist attractions in the city to bring people to Marietta.
In its over 80 years, the Colony Theater has changed locations, appearances, and even its name. But it's always been a shining jewel in the cultural landscape of the Mid-Ohio Valley. Innovations ranging from heating and cooling to talking pictures and celebrity appearances have earned this theater a special place in Marietta's history, and in the hearts of the many who can still recall what a night out at the Colony was like.
Time to pause and refresh at the snack bar, where you can treat your taste to good food and sparkling cold beverages, including delicious Coca-Cola. If you're popcorn hungry, we have it, kettle fresh and piping hot right from the popper. There are other treats for you too, such as fresh candies and ice cream. Visit the Refreshment Center now. Enjoy a delicious snack and ice-cold Coca-Cola.
The Hippodrome Colony Historical Theater Association is endeavoring to restore the Colony Theater to its former glory. Following the lead of other communities throughout the country and Ohio, this group's goal is to secure the funding necessary to renovate and reopen this local landmark, much like the community of Tiffin, Ohio, accomplished at the Ritz Theater. The Ritz Theater is very similar to the Colony in many ways. In addition, Seneca County and Tiffin, Ohio are nearly identical to Washington County and Marietta in terms of population and demographics. Over 15 years, the Ritz was able to raise over $5.5 million from public and private sources. The Ritz has been fully restored and now books over 200 events a year. The uses for the Colony are many and varied. Not only could it once again show movies on the big screen, but also its large stage can accommodate dance recitals, ballet, magic acts, graduations, corporate events, concerts, local plays, and touring performances. The Colony's full orchestra pit could also accommodate musicals and opera. Through grants, donations, and fundraising events, we hope to have renovations underway soon. Join us today in our efforts to breathe new life into this priceless piece of Marietta's history.